Hello, I'm Avis Kolfsbeck, and this is the Peace is Here podcast. Welcome to Peacewarts, School of Peacecraft and Inquiry, where we practice the skills of peace through short daily classes. We take the peace work seriously, but not ourselves. If you're joining us mid-school year, you're not late. Orientation begins at episode 198. We recently closed the 13-episode podcast series Experiment Zero, but as any scientist or any gardener will tell you, the end of one experiment is simply the moment the data becomes a lesson. Today is orientation. If you're listening to this, you've been enrolled. You didn't have to apply. You simply had to be curious enough to wonder if the world's current state of perpetual war is a permanent law of nature or just a very long, very loud mistake. Required equipment. All students must come equipped with the following essentials for the work ahead. First, you'll need a vessel for holding complex, simmering truths. We deal in heat here, and you will need a way to contain it without cracking. Second, you must carry a compass tuned to human dignity. The terrain of peace is often unmapped, and your internal needle is the only thing that will keep you from drifting. Optional but highly recommended, you may bring a witness. This is that part of yourself that watches the world and still wonders why. While some institutions allow for a pet or a familiar, we prefer you bring your curiosity. The Great Spell. There's a secret we don't talk about much in our history books. In 1963, the world's most powerful leaders looked at the brink of the abyss and did something radical. They didn't just sign a treaty, they cast a great spell of disarmament. They agreed in writing that the goal wasn't just less war, it was no war. We've been told for decades that this was magical thinking, but at this Peacewarts of the mind, we believe that 1963 wasn't the end of a dream, it was the start of a curriculum. We are currently in the middle of the Great Disarmament. We're just the students who arrive late to class, and it's time to catch up. The geography of the grounds. We do not study peace as a single dusty object. We study it as a living system divided into 8 distinct departments. Before you settle in, you must know the map. Department of Universal Understars, where we calibrate our perspective by standing under the heavens to remember that borders are invisible from above. Department of Living Roots, our greenhouse, where we study the history of the soil and the law of return. Department of Chronicled Courage, the Hall of Records, where we study treaties as active blueprints for a world already designed. Department of Resonant Charms, our resonance chamber where we study the physics of language and the resonant words that change a room. Department of Morphological Peace, the forge where we apply heat to rigid institutions until they become pliable enough to be cast into something new. Department of Ethical Defense, where we learn to hold a boundary and regulate the nervous system without becoming part of the storm. Department of Social Chemistry, the lab, where we study peace as a compound, stabilizing diverse perspectives to prevent explosions. Department of Kinetic Peace, the launch pad. This is where theory hits the pavement and the great spell becomes action motion. The Homework Pact. Your daily practice will consist of 2 things: looking up the peace topic of the day and writing down 1 question about that topic. If you can ask why or how else, you're already doing the work. Tomorrow is a free day, a day to prepare and enjoy the Peacewarts Foundations Festival. It is a day of music, speakers, and preparation before our first official class in the tower. Enrollment is now complete. Class dismissed. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to support the Peace is Here podcast, the most helpful way is to follow it wherever you're listening. It helps share the message with others. You can also support this peace work at my Patreon for $4 a month, about what a used paperback goes for these days. Just go to Patreon at patreon.com/Avis Kalfsbeck. That's AVISKALFSBEEK. My most recent book is Monomutante, a best friend eco-fiction novella about food systems, featuring Tilly, Camas, Pedro, and the rest of the gang. It's book 6 in the Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet series and is available wherever you buy books. You can find all of my peace projects and stay in touch at aviskalfsbeck.com. Music is by Javier Peque Rodriguez. Sound effects are from Pixabay. Regarding peace, we need not delay or despair. We are not late. We are right on time to love. We are all scholars of peace. Listen for the peace.